The Galactic Council's most secure vault, sealed for 50,000 years and requiring biometric verification from all 847 known species to open, unlocked itself the moment Emma Johnson pushed her cleaning cart past it. According to YouTube analytics, 98% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, Security Chief Zillax dropped his datapad. The ancient display, dormant since before his species achieved spaceflight, blazed to life with text in the first language. "Welcome back, Creator. All systems restored, awaiting instructions." "Impossible," Zillax breathed, his secondary arms twitching in distress. "Seal the corridor. Emergency Protocol Omega-7. Emma stopped mopping and looked up at the commotion. Everything okay? I can come back later if you're doing something important." "Do not move," Zillax's voice cracked across 3 octaves. He'd been security chief of the Galactic Council's primary archive facility for 20 years. In that time, the progenitor vault had never so much as flickered. Now it was wide open, its entrance bleeding light across the polished floor Emma had just cleaned, and every sensor in the building was screaming. Kaeldra, the head archivist, materialized from her office at a dead run, her scholar's robes tangling around her legs. "What did you do? What protocol did you activate?" "I didn't activate anything." Zillax gestured frantically at his console. The vault opened itself when the human walked past. Both aliens turned to stare at Emma, who was now awkwardly holding her mop like it might shield her from whatever was happening. "I literally just started this hallway," Emma said. "I haven't touched anything except the floor, and honestly, it wasn't even that dirty." "Your biometric signature." Kaeldra's voice had gone quiet with shock. She held up her scanner, and her hands trembled. It's matching." "Matching what?" Emma asked. "Everything." Kaeldra turned the scanner so Zillax could see. His face went through several colors that didn't exist in human visible spectrum. "Her DNA contains base sequences from all 847 known species simultaneously. That's impossible," Zillax finished. "The vault requires biometric data from every species in the galaxy. Every single one. We've spent 50 millennia trying to collect complete samples. 371 species have gone extinct. The vault shouldn't be able to open for another 1,000 years minimum, and that's if we're incredibly lucky with archaeological finds." Alarms began shrieking through the facility. "What's happening?" Emma asked, raising her voice over the noise. "The vault is trying to transfer administrative access." Kaeldra stared at her console in horror. "To you, it's recognizing you as, oh, stars and void. It's recognizing you as creator class authority. Primary access level. Full system privileges." "I'm a janitor," Emma said flatly. "I make 15 credits an hour. I don't have authority over anything except which cleaning solution works best on alien sneeze residue. The vault contains technology that predates every known civilization," Zillax said, his voice barely controlled. "The progenitors, the first ones who seeded life across the galaxy, they built it. Nothing opens it. Nothing accesses it. Its security protocols are absolute. Until 30 seconds ago, we thought opening it might require divine intervention." "And it opened for someone with a mop," Emma said. "Yeah, I can see why you're freaking out." Kaeldra's communicator erupted with priority signals. "The Council High Command is inbound. Commander Jataro himself. ETA 3 minutes. Emma looked down at her cleaning cart. "So, can I finish this hallway or—" "No!" both aliens shouted simultaneously. The vault's display pulsed with new text. "Creator genetic signature confirmed. Welcome home, full database access granted, awaiting orders." Emma squinted at the ancient script. I can actually read that." Zillax made a noise like a dying engine. "You can read the first language, the language that requires 17 years of specialized study, and even then, most scholars can only partially translate?" "I mean, it's right there," Emma pointed. "It says, 'Welcome home,' and something about database access." "Why, what do you see?" Kaeldra's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the floor. We're about to have the biggest diplomatic crisis in galactic history, because a human janitor just became the only person in the known universe who can access the technology that created all life as we know it. Okay, Emma said slowly, but I still need to finish my shift? Commander Jotaro arrived with an entire security detail, his ceremonial armor marking him as Supreme Commander of the Galactic Council forces. He took one look at the open vault and the human with the mop, and his expressions cycled through disbelief, fury, and resignation in rapid succession. "Explain," he said, voice like grinding stone. "The human opened the progenitor vault by walking past it," Zilax reported, standing at rigid attention. "The system recognizes her as creator-class authority." Jotaro's eyes, all four of them, fixed on Emma. "You, stay exactly where you are." "Sure, okay." Emma shifted her weight. "But I really do need to get to the third floor before the evening shift." She took one step toward the exit. Every system in the vault blazed to life. Holographic displays erupted from the walls, following Emma's movement. Ancient mechanisms whirred and clicked, tracking her trajectory. A stream of data began projecting in the air around her like a personal cloud of light. Emma froze. "Okay, that's new." "Do not move," Jotaro bellowed. "I'm not," Emma protested. "It's following me. I didn't ask it to do that." Keldra was frantically scanning the data streams. The vault systems they're attuning to her, like she's the central node. Every subsystem is attempting to synchronize with her biometric signature. "Run a complete genetic analysis," Jotaro ordered. "Full spectrum. I want to know exactly what we're dealing with." 3 of the galaxy's top xenobiologists worked for the next 10 minutes, while Emma stood awkwardly in place, still holding her mop. The results came back identical across all tests. "Confirmed," the lead scientist reported, her voice shaking. "The human's DNA contains base genetic sequences from all 847 cataloged species. Not similar sequences, the exact foundational sequences. She's like a living genetic archive of every species in the galaxy." "That's biologically impossible," Jotaro said flatly. "Yes, sir." "And yet." Jotaro turned to his technical team. "Override the vault systems, shut down whatever protocol it's running, use administrative authority, council clearance level 9. The technicians worked frantically at their consoles. After 2 minutes of increasingly desperate attempts, the lead technician looked up with wide eyes. "Sir, the vault is rejecting our commands. It's flagging our override attempts as offspring tampering with parent protocols. It won't accept any authority except hers." "Offspring?" Jotaro's voice went dangerously quiet. Emma cleared her throat. "I mean, humans have always been pretty curious about where life comes from. We've got like a million different theories. Maybe one of them was more accurate than we thought." Her phone buzzed. Everyone stared at it. "Sorry, that's probably just..." Emma pulled out her phone and nearly dropped it. Data was streaming onto her screen. Ancient schematics, genetic maps, star charts showing planetary seeding patterns. The vault is downloading stuff to my phone." "What?" Caldra lunged forward to see the screen. Those are the progenitor archives, 50,000 years of data. Technology that makes our most advanced systems look like stone tools. It's just sending it to a personal communication device? "I've got pretty good data storage," Emma said weakly. "And unlimited cloud backup?" Jotaro grabbed his communicator. "Get me the Elders' Council. Now. Emergency session. I don't care if they're in meditation cycles or diplomatic negotiations. Now." While he barked orders, the vault continued its display show. Technical schematics bloomed across every surface, showing machinery that seemed to violate physics as the gathered aliens understood it. Faster-than-light engines that predated the Council's own FTL technology by millennia. Genetic sequencing equipment that made modern medical science look primitive. Terraforming systems that could reshape entire worlds. Can anyone read these labels? A scientist asked desperately, pointing at the flowing script alongside each schematic. Emma glanced over. Oh, those are just safety instructions. That one says, Quantum Core. Do not operate near temporal anomalies. And that one says, Genesis Matrix requires 3-person authorization for planetary scale deployment. She paused. That seems responsible, honestly. The room went completely silent. You can read all of it, Kaeldra whispered. The first language, every symbol. You're reading it like it's your native tongue. I mean, yeah, Emma looked confused. Isn't that how writing works? You just read it? Jataro's communicator chimed. The Elders' Council, 7 of the oldest and most powerful beings in the galaxy, appeared in holographic form, their faces grave. Commander, the first Elder spoke. We are informed the progenitor vault has opened. Confirm this impossibility. Jataro turned his communicator so they could see Emma, standing in a pool of ancient light with a mop in one hand and her phone in the other. It opened for a human janitor, he said, his voice carefully neutral, and it's calling her Creator. The first Elder's expression did something that might have been the alien equivalent of a system crash. There's a text file here, Emma said, scrolling through her phone where 50,000 years of data had decided to make itself at home. It's labeled Final Log, Dr. Sarah Chen, Genesis Project Director. Should I read it? Yes, the first Elder said immediately, leaning forward in his holographic form. Every word. Emma shrugged and began reading aloud. Day 18th, 263 of the Genesis Project. We've successfully seeded 847 worlds with custom-designed life forms based on human genetic templates. Each species has been adapted for their specific planetary conditions, but all carry our base DNA markers as a failsafe. If humanity ever falls, and let's be honest, we're kind of in the middle of a catastrophic civil war right now, these species will carry on. They'll grow, evolve, build their own civilizations. Maybe they'll do better than we did. The room had gone deathly silent. Emma continued. The backup vault is ready. Anyone with human DNA can access it. We figured if any of us survive, we should be able to check on our kids, experiments. God, that sounds bad either way. The galaxy's biggest science project, and we didn't leave an instruction manual because we were too busy killing each other, typical humans. Emma paused. She sounds kind of sarcastic. I like her. Continue, Jataro said hoarsely. To whoever finds this, you're probably one of the species we created. Surprise! Humans were the first ones. We're your ancestors, all of you. We used our own DNA as the foundation because it was stable, adaptable, and we already understood it. You're not separate species that evolved independently. You're our children, different expressions of the same genetic source code. We designed you, we planted you, we hoped you'd thrive. Emma looked up. Then it just says, good luck, and ends. That's the whole log. Kaeldra sat down hard for the second time that day. We're human experiments? Designed life forms based on human genetic templates, one of the xenobiologists repeated numbly. That's why we all have compatible base proteins. Why our biochemistry shares fundamental similarities despite being from different star systems. We weren't wondering about the galaxy's greatest mystery. We are the mystery. Emma gave an awkward laugh. So you're saying my ancestors played God and didn't leave an instruction manual? That tracks, actually. Very on brand for humans. The first Elder's hologram flickered as he accessed his own databases. Cross-reference all archaeological findings, every artifact classified as progenitor technology. Run dating analyses against known human historical patterns. A moment later, his face went slack. By the void. Human artifacts have been found on all 847 seeded worlds. We classified them as ancient alien technology, but the dating, they all predate our earliest civilizations by tens of thousands of years. We've been studying our own creators' leftovers and calling them mysteries. The great question, another elder whispered. Why all intelligent life in the galaxy shares compatible biology? We've had philosophers debating it for millennia. The answer is humans went around copying themselves everywhere. Not copying, Emma corrected, still reading from her phone. Adapting. It says here, you were all custom designed for your specific worlds. Humans just provided the genetic foundation. You guys did all the evolving and civilization building yourselves. The Vault's AI chimed in, its voice ancient and patient. Confirmed. Genetic analysis complete. Current human identified as authorized descendant of creator-class humans. Emma Johnson, 5th generation removed from Genesis Project personnel, genetic markers authentic, full system access granted. 5th generation, Jotaro said faintly. The progenitors disappeared 50,000 years ago. Humans live a long time in cryosleep, Emma said, finding another file. Looks like some survivors made it to Earth. That's our homeworld, and rebuilt civilization from scratch. We forgot most of our own history. There was a war, the records got destroyed, and everyone just started over. She looked up. We've been running around the galaxy for the past few centuries thinking we were the new kids on the block. Turns out we were here first and just forgot. 3 of the elders' holograms simply winked out. System overload from existential crisis. Kaeldra was rocking back and forth. Every species in the galaxy, every single one. We're all descended from human genetic experiments. Our religions, our origin stories, our evolution myths, they're all wrong. We didn't evolve naturally. We were designed by humans, who then forgot they did it. The humans forgot they created all intelligent life in the galaxy, Zilax said, his voice strange. That's the most human thing I've ever heard. Hey, Emma protested. We have a lot going on. You can't expect us to remember everything. Jotaro pulled himself together with visible effort. Emergency council session, full. Assembly, every species representative. We need to decide how to proceed with this information. Cool, Emma said. Am I going to get paid for overtime? Because my shift ended 20 minutes ago and this feels like it's going long. The Supreme Commander of the Galactic Council Forces stared at her. The entire foundation of galactic civilization just collapsed, and you're worried about overtime pay? I mean, yeah, rent's still due on Friday whether or not we solve the meaning of life. Emma glanced at the vault. Does this thing have a lock button? I should probably close it before I leave. Do not touch anything, everyone shouted simultaneously. The vault, apparently deciding everyone needed the full story, began projecting a comprehensive historical record into the air. 3-dimensional star maps showed humanity's expansion across the galaxy 50 millennia ago, each world marked with deployment dates and species specifications. The Genesis project ran for 200 years, Emma narrated, reading the data as it appeared. Humans were at the peak of technological advancement. We could reshape worlds, design life, travel faster than light. Then there was a war. Doesn't say what it was about, but it went really badly. Most of humanity died. The survivors took the last ships back to Earth and agreed to hide it from the galaxy. Hide Earth? Jotaro demanded. Why? So you guys could develop independently, Emma said, still reading. They didn't want to interfere. You were supposed to grow into your own civilizations without human oversight. Earth got quarantined, wiped from all navigation databases, cloaked with some kind of spatial distortion field. She squinted at the technical specs. Wow, that's complicated. Anyway, humans decided to start over and let their children's species have the galaxy. Kaeldra was frantically cross-referencing data. Every ancient mystery, the unexplained technological jumps in our early civilizations, the artifacts we couldn't explain, the ruins that predate our histories, it was all human. Alarms suddenly began blaring across the entire facility, then across the city, then, according to incoming reports, across multiple council worlds. What now? Jotaro shouted. Uh, Emma looked at her phone guiltily. I think I accidentally turned something on. The vault just sent activation signals to monitoring stations. There are monitoring stations on all 847 worlds. They've been dormant for 50,000 years, and I guess me accessing the vault woke them up. A technician's voice cracked over the communications array. Sir, we're receiving signals from every seeded world simultaneously. Ancient installations are coming online. They're all transmitting the same message. Creator presence detected. System reactivation complete. Awaiting instructions. Jotaro closed all four eyes. The human janitor just reactivated every progenitor installation in the galaxy. I didn't mean to, Emma said. I just clicked on a file labeled System Status because I wanted to see if everything was okay. Of course you did, Zilax muttered. Why wouldn't you? Emma scrolled through more data. Oh, hey, there's a note here. System has been running in safe mode for 50,000 years due to emergency war protocols. Safe mode prevents full functionality and optimal performance. To restore normal operations, creator class authorization required. Huh. You guys have been using broken versions of all this technology this whole time. Safe mode? Kaeldra looked stricken. The few progenitor devices we've managed to reverse engineer, they've been running at partial capacity? Looks like it. Emma tapped a few commands on her phone. There. I disabled safe mode. Everything should work properly now. Every scientist in the room made a strangled noise. What did you just do? Jotaro asked with forced calm. Fix the bug? Emma offered. It's just a software thing, like when your computer's been running slow and you realize it's been in low power mode for years. The First Elder's hologram solidified again. The council must convene. We must accept this new reality. Humans are the progenitors. The first ones. The species we've been searching for across millennia. They've been here the entire time, living on a hidden world, completely unaware they created us all. The Vault's AI spoke, its tone almost eager. Creator authority confirmed. Ready to resume full operations. Query. Does Creator wish to resume Creator class authority over all subsidiary species? Administrative protocols available. Governance systems standing by. Everyone turned to look at Emma. Oh, hell no, Emma said immediately. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on the whole ruling the galaxy thing. I've got rent due on Friday, and I'm pretty sure being responsible for 847 species would seriously cut into my Netflix time. You're declining? The First Elder said weakly. Obviously. I clean museums for a living. I'm not qualified to run a galaxy. Emma addressed the Vault directly. Hey, Vault? I appreciate the offer, but I'm good. You can just go back to sleep or whatever you were doing. Acknowledged, the Vault responded. Creator authority noted. Systems entering standby mode, awaiting future instructions if required. Authorization. Emma Johnson, Creator class, clearance absolute. The glowing displays dimmed. The holographic projections faded. The ancient mechanisms quieted. In moments, the Vault returned to its dormant state, still open, but peaceful. Emma checked her watch. Okay, so I'm definitely getting overtime for this, right? Every council member, elder, commander, and scientist simply stared at her in stunned silence. The human who had just rewritten the entire foundation of galactic civilization was worried about her hourly wage. 3 hours later, after emergency council sessions that would be discussed in history texts for millennia, new protocols were established. All human genetic signatures are hereby classified as progenitor class, Jotaro announced to the assembled council representatives, his voice carrying the weight of species-altering policy. Any human approaching ancient installations must be accompanied by full diplomatic escort. We cannot risk another accidental reactivation. He turned to Emma, who was sitting in a corner checking her phone. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I apologize for not recognizing humanity's significance sooner. We should have, Emma laughed. Dude, you had no way of knowing. Honestly, this explains why my great-aunt always said our family was special. I thought she meant we made good casserole, not that we created all life in the galaxy. The first elder's hologram leaned forward. The question remains, do we inform the rest of humanity about their heritage? This knowledge could reshape human civilization. Maybe wait on that, Emma said immediately. We're still arguing about pineapple on pizza. Telling humanity they're responsible for 847 species might be a bit much. We'll probably just weaponize it in our arguments somehow. Weaponize your origin as the galaxy's creators? Kyeldra said faintly. You don't know humans very well yet, Emma said. Give it time. Jotaro cleared his throat. We would like to offer you a position. Cultural consultant to the Galactic Council. You would serve as liaison between humanity and, well, everyone else. The pay is substantially better than janitorial work. What are the hours? Same as your current shift. We're not suicidal enough to overwork a progenitor. Okay, deal. Emma stood up and grabbed her mop. But I'm still finishing this hallway. It needs to be cleaned, and I'm not leaving a job half done. She proceeded to mop the floor around priceless ancient artifacts and council members who scrambled out of her way. The vault's entrance gleamed in the light, still open, now responding with a subtle glow whenever Emma moved near it. The vault will remain accessible, the first elder decreed. But only to humans. We must respect creator-class authority. It'll respond to any human? Emma asked, wringing out her mop. Apparently, your entire species carries sufficient genetic markers, a xenobiologist confirmed. Every human is technically a potential creator-class administrator. That's going to be fun when Earth joins the council, Zilax muttered. Emma finished the last section of floor, packed up her cleaning supplies, and headed for the exit. Behind her, the vault's display pulsed once. Creator departed, awaiting next instruction cycle. As she reached the door, Emma turned back to the assembled aliens, the most powerful beings in the galaxy, who now knew they were the descendants of human genetic experiments. See you Monday, she said cheerfully. Try not to panic if I bring coffee past any other ancient artifacts. I'm not a morning person, and I will need caffeine. She left. In the silence that followed, Kyeldra began pulling up databases. We need to review every piece of ancient technology in our archives. If it's progenitor-made, it's human-made. Our entire understanding of galactic history needs to be rewritten. Diplomatic protocols, Jotaro added. Every interaction with humans needs new guidelines. We're no longer dealing with a younger species. We're dealing with our creators. They created us just to see what would happen, one of the elders said quietly. Read the log. The Genesis project was an experiment. Humans seeded 847 worlds with custom life because they were curious. And then forgot about it, Zilax added. Went home, had a civilization-ending war, rebuilt from scratch, and completely forgot they'd created everyone else. The most powerful species in the galaxy, Kyeldra said, staring at the vault, just wants to go home and watch television. No, Jotaro corrected, reviewing Emma's employment file. The most powerful species in the galaxy wants to go home, watch television, and get paid overtime. The first elder's hologram flickered with what might have been amusement. Somehow that makes perfect sense. Outside, Emma Johnson walked through the city streets toward the transit station, her phone full of 50,000-year-old technology that could reshape civilization, her cleaning cart rattling behind her, already planning what she'd have for dinner. The galaxy would never be the same. Emma's shift was over, and that was what mattered.